Let's pray. Father, thank you for bringing us together where we can read your word and give you glory. Sometimes it's not about us, it's about you. And it's about those that, and even what you choose not to do. For your wisdom is wise over all. Thank you for everything, Papa. And glory to all that you have ever set out. May this opportunity bring us a deeper understanding of you. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Jehovah. Okay. We're on 29. It's 8:14. Got an hour. Okay. Now the Philistines gathered together, divided all their armies to Aphek city, and Yasharel pitched by a fountain, which is in Yisrael. And the rulers of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but David and his men passed on in the rearward with Achish, so in the back. Then said the princes of Philistine, "What do these Ivrim here?" Ivrim is the race or title before they use Hebrew. And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistine, "Is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Yasharel, which has been with me these days or these years, and I have found no fault in him, since he fell unto me unto this day?" And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, "Make divineth this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which you have appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men? Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000s? Then Achish called David, and said unto him, Surely as Yahuwah lives, you have been upright, and your going out and your coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in you since the day of your coming unto me unto this day. Nevertheless the rulers favor you not. 7. Wherefore now return, and go in peace, that you displease not the rulers of the Philistines. And David said unto Achish, But what have I done? And what have you found in your servant so long as I have been with you unto this day, that I may not go fight against the enemies of my ruler the king? And Achish answered and said to David, I know that you are good in my sight, and as an angel of Elohim, notwithstanding the princes of the Philistines have said, he shall not go up with us to battle. Wherefore now rise up early in the morning with your master's servants, that are come with you, and as soon as you be up early in the morning and have light, depart. So David and his men arose up early to depart in the morning to return into the land of the Philistines, and the Philistines went up to Yisrael. Okay, the rulers the rulers of the Philistines didn't want David to fight because they were afraid that he would turn on them. Saul is gonna die in war, but it's not gonna be in the hand of David. So this is probably God's hand. God orchestrated or knew that he knew, but you could say he orchestrated that David would not fight Saul anyway. He's never supposed to fight Saul anyway. It gets a repetition, keeps saying that Saul is anointed, blah 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 blah. So why would he go to war with Saul? 30. David's wives are captured. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Siklag on the third day, that the Amalekim had invaded the Negev, and Siklag, and smitten the Siklag and burnt it with fire, and had taken, wait, that Mikulam, they slew not any. Take the women captives that were therein, they were slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their women and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept, until they had no more power to weep. And David's 2 women were taken captives, Achinoam, Noam, the Urizelith, and was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in Yahweh Elohiah. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray you, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought the ephod to David. And David inquired at Yahweh, saying, Shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Okay, so Father's telling David that he's gonna end up getting them all back. If David and his 400 people, probably more now, didn't go back, then his wives and the people could potentially be dead. So you could look at you can look at 2 reasons. You can see in 6 where they talk about the people want to stone him because he's supposed to be a man of God, and like, why would tragedy happen for a man of God? Not a lot of people would understand. And you could look at this could be a test too. You could look at it as a test. If David never inquired and asked God to what he should do, if he should chase after them or not, then if he went after it on his own, he could have died, etc. Yeah. And then we're at 9. So it's good to involve God with all your problems and stuff. And it may not be God talking to you like verbally, but it's better to inquire Father's help through your circumstance, either way, whether he talks to you or not, because at least you're giving him the opportunity to be in your life, to share your pain. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. So 200 of his men. So only 200 of his men continued to pursue with him. And they found a Mitzri in the field, an Egyptian, and brought him to David. A lot of these cities and nations, it's hard to, some of them are not here anymore, and if they are, then their nations are small, so it's hard to know which ones are which. You'd have to research it. Mitzri, yeah, brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water, and they gave him a cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his ruach came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights. Pretty cool how you can see culturally, for cuisine and culinary, that raisins and cakes of figs is a norm. I think that's pretty cool. 13. And David said unto him, To whom belong you, and where are you? And he said, I am a young man of Mitzrayim, servant to an Amaleki, and my master left me, because 3 days agone I fell sick. We made an invasion upon the south of the Korathim, and upon the coast which belongs to Yehudah, and upon the south of Kalev, and we burned Seleka with fire. Okay. And David said to him, Can you bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by Elohim that you will neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring you down to this company. Okay, so why is a Mitzrayim a slave? Probably at this time Egypt is not a big nation, or it is a big nation, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Yeah, this is kind of reference. You can see the reference. I hope you can see it. Also, there is also something I saw. Okay, so David just somehow is fine. Okay, just make sure so we're going. 16. David defeats the Amalekites. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of Palestine and out of the land of Yehudah. And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day, and there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled. This is kind of cool tactically. David attacked them at twilight, twilight to the evening of the next day. So he attacked them when they were asleep. 18. And David recovered the vine with all that the Amalekim had carried away, and David rescued the vine with his two women, and there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. 20. And David took the vine with all the flocks and the herds which they drove before those other cattle, and said, This is David's spoil. And David came to the 200 men which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook of Besor. And they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, Because they were not with us, we will not give them out of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his woman and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. So they didn't give him anything of the spoil except they returned their families. 23. Then said David, You shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yahuwah has given us, who has preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. For who will hearken unto you on this matter? But as his part is that goes down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarries by the stuff, that they shall part alike. And it was so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Yasharel unto this day. He doesn't tell us. Mm, okay. So the evil said this to David. David responds that it sounds like the statute and ordinance. Statute and ordinance is like it's like an order, like not an order, but like it's like a like you can I'm just gonna say divine rule, where and then he talks about you got a part like equality of like the battles that you have gotten, everybody gets their part. And when they say statue, it's like character. So character in an individual and an ordinance as in like a divine, or it's like custom. I guess custom could be is a better word. 26. And when David came to Tisiklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Yahudah, even to his friends, saying, Behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yahuwah, to them which were in Baal, to them which were in Ramoth Negev, and to them which were in Yair, and to them which were in Aroer, and to them which were in Sifmoth, and to them which were in Ethermoa, and to them which were in Rakal, and to them which were in the cities of the Urakim Elam, and to them which were in the cities of Canaanim, to them that which were in Chorma, and to them which were in Kor and Ashen, and to them which were in Atak, to them which were in Chevron, and to all these the places where David himself and his men were wont to haunt. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow we're gonna be going back from 20 and to where we end, and we're gonna use the internet to like look up the things that are kind of hard to visualize, like the old cities and stuff like that, and hopefully it'll give us a better idea and a better understanding. And we'll do this every 3 days so we can, have a better outlook. Okay, we're on 31 now. I don't know what Hanted means. Yeah, see, it's sharing the spoil. Okay, 31. And we're about to finish 1 Samuel and go into 2 Samuel. Now the Philistine fought against Yasharal, and the men of Yasharal fled from before the Philistine and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistine followed hard down upon Saul and down upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jehonathan and Avinadab and Malchishua, Saul's sons, and the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. I find this kind of sad because David made a covenant with Yehudadan, and I don't know why I don't know why David never took Yehudadan into his care. Okay, let's continue. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, Draw your sword and thrust me through, therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took the sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. So Saul and his 3 sons and his armor bearer and all his men that same day together. And when the men of Yasharel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side of the Jordan, saw that the men of Yasharel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled. And the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass. Oh wait, wrong. Right. We're on 8. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor, and set into the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among their people. Saul, in this case, you see that Saul was wise in knowing that what the Philistines were going to do. 10. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Beit Shean. And when the inhabitants of Yavish Gilad has heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the body of his sons off from the wall of Beit Shean, and came to Yavish and burnt them there. They took their bones and buried them under a tree in Yavish, and fasted 7 days. Okay, so this is interesting. Who are the Yavish of Gilad? Okay. We're on 2 Samuel now. We are on 2 Samuel now. The book of 2 Samuel 1. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekite, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the 3rd day, that behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul, with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did obeisance. And David said unto him, From whence come you? And he said unto him, How went the matter? I pray. Okay. And David said unto the young man, we're on 5, that told him, How know you that Saul and Jehohanan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, As I happened by the chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and called unto me, and I answered, Here am I. And he said unto me, Who are you? And I answered him, I am Amaleki. He said unto me, Stand, I pray you, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and bracelet on his arm, and have brought them hither unto my ruler. Then David took hold on his clothes, and rent them likewise all the men or with him, sorry. Okay, Saul leaned upon his spear. Okay, 12. When they mourned and wept and fasted until evening for Saul and for Yehudanan his son and for the people of Yasharal, Yahuwah, and for the house of Yasharal, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence are you? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amaleki. And David said unto him, How were you not afraid to stretch forth your hand to destroy Yahweh's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Your blood be upon your head, for your mouth has testified against you, saying, I have slain Yahweh's anointed. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Yehudanan his son. Also he bade them to teach the children of Yahuwah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the Sefer Yashar. Another one referencing Jasher. The beauty of Yasharel is slain upon your high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath, publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon, lest the daughters of the Philistine rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. Ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offering. For there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. Okay. Okay, so David's very, well, you not slaying the Yahweh's anointed. Amaleki, I don't know if that's from Nov. The scene changes from Gilboa to Zelak. With the time years in the rough life of a free Buddhist surrounded by course and argument, he had not lost. Okay, what else? That's just an individual choice. I can't really say anything. Okay, so Saul dying is like they didn't want Gath and them to know because the choice his father made. They don't want. We're on to, and we have. Oh yeah, we have a lot of time, 29 minutes. And it came to pass after this that David inquired of Yahweh, saying, Shall I go up? Sorry. Go up into any of the cities of Yehudah. And Yahweh said unto him, Go up. And David said, Whither shall I go up? And he said unto Chevron. So David went up thither, and his 2 women also, Achinoam and Urizaliath, of Evigala, Nabal's woman, the Carmeli, and his men that were with him. It keeps saying Nabal's woman. I mean, we know it's adultery. Well, he married her after he died, but we know there was adultery in his heart from the account of the first part at that one point in time. And his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the city of Chevron. And the men of Yehudah came, and they anointed David king over the house of Yehudah, Judah. And they told David, saying, the men of Yavish, Gilad, were they that buried Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men of Yavish, Gilad, and said unto them, Blessed be ye of Yahuwah, that ye have showed this kindness unto your ruler, even unto Saul, and have buried him. Referencing Yavish, Gilad again. And now Yahuwah shows kindness and truth unto you. And I also requite you this kindness, because ye have done this thing. Therefore now let your hands be strengthened, and be ye valiant, for your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Yehudah have anointed me king over them. Eight. But Abner, the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to the Machaninim, and made him king over Gilad. I'm just assuming and guessing Gilad is from the tribe of Gad. And over Asherim, which is 12 tribes. Over Yisrael and over Ephraim. Yep, it's the 12 tribes. 9. Yeah. Because Ephraim and Benjamin are from Joseph. And over all Yisrael. So this is the division between Judah and the northern part of Israel. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Yisrael, and reigned 2 years. But the house of Yehudah followed David. And the time that David was king in Chevron over the house of Yehudah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner the son of Ner, and the servants of Ishbosheth the son of Saul, went out from Machaniim to Givon. And Joab the son of Zeruiah and the servants of David went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon. And they sat down, the one on the one side of the pool and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, Let the young man now arise and play before us. And Joab said, Let them arise. Then there arose and went over by the number of 12 by Benjamin, which pertained to Ishbosheth the son of Saul, and 12 of the servants of David. And they caught everyone his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side, so they fell down together. Wherefore that place was called Shekath Hatzerim, which is in Gibeon. Okay, so David and his men ambushed the substitute king. Bosheth. Okay. "17. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Yisrael before the servants of David. And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah there, Joab, Aviashai, Ashiel. And Ashiel was as lightfoot as a wild roe." So we know that He's probably from Naphtali, tribe of Naphtali, of the 12. And Asahel pursued after Abner, and in going he turned not to the right hand nor to the left from following Abner. Then Abner looked behind him and said, "Are you Asahel?" And he answered, "I am. Turn aside to your right hand or to your left, and lay hold on one of the young men and take his armor." But Asahel would not turn aside from following them. And Abner said again to Asahel, "Turn aside from following me, wherefore should I smite you to the ground? How then should I hold up my face to Joab your brother?" 23. Howbeit he refused to turn aside, wherefore Abner with the hinder end of the spear smote him under the 5th rib, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. That's an example of individuality. He chooses not to listen, but he's also honoring. I don't know if he was ordered to follow him or not, but if he chose to follow him in duty, But that's an example of individuality. And it came to pass, and as many as came to the place where Asahel fell down and died stood still. Joab also and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down when they were come to the hill of Ammah that lies before Gibeah by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and became one troop, and stood on the top of the hill. 26. Then Abner called to Joab, and said, "Shall the sword devour forever? Know you not that it will be bitterness in the latter end? How long shall it be then, ere you bid the people return from following their brethren?" And Joab said, "As Elohim lives, unless you had spoken, surely then in the morning the people had gone up, every one from following his brother." So Joab blew a shofar, and all the people stood still, and pursued after Yasharal no more, neither fought they any more. And Abner and his men walked all that night throughout the plain, and passed over the Jordan, and went toward all Bithron, and they came to Machanaim. So Abner basically pleaded that that when will the battle stop? Basically, he was trying to touch their hearts, their character of God, to for them to stop pursuing him, and it worked. 30. And Joab returned from following Abner, and when he had gathered all the people together, there lacked of David's servants 19 men, and Asahel, so they lost 19 people. So, 20. The servants of David had smitten of Benjamin and of Abner's men, so that 360 men died. 303, I'm pretty sure. And they took up Asahel and buried him in the sepulchre of his father. A sepulchre is a burial. It's like I'm not gonna relate it to a tomb, because it's where his family's buried together. Tomb sounds more ominous. Sepulchre is a better word, which is in Beit Lachem. And Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Chevron at the break of day. 3. And there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. I just want to say also that you could see the division between the tribes culturally and as we keep reading, because Benjamin sided with Saul, etc., etc., and Naphtali, I guess some of the people sided with David, and Ephraim, it looked like in Manasseh sided with Saul, but it doesn't look like they fought with him, because it doesn't really mention that the tribe had any lost numbers or whatever, but it may be so that some died too. And unto David were sons born in Chevron, and his firstborn Ammon of Achinoam, and the Yeruzelith, and his second Kilab of Abigail, the woman of Nabal, the Carmeli, and the third Avishalom, the son of Machiash, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur, the son of... Okay, so the third child is from another woman, so this is 3 women. And the fourth, Adoniyahu, the son of Shagieth. It sounds like he has multiple wives. And the fifth, Shephathayu, the son of Avietal. And the sixth, Urithiam by Eglad, David's woman. Yeah, he has multiple women. More than 2, more than 3. They were born to David in Chevron. And this kind of leads to David's downfall. 6. And it came to pass, while there was a war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul. It looks like Abner is going to try again, just like Saul. And Saul had a concubine whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, Wherefore have you gone in unto my father's concubine? Abner made love with the concubine of his father, which is pretty wrong. That's adultery. In the heart, at least, his father died, so we don't know if it was before or after. But the way his son saying it, it sounds like he's putting the pieces together. That was before and after. Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, Am I a dog's head, which against Yehudah do show kindness this day unto the house of Saul your father, to his brethren and to his friends? Have not delivered you into the hand of David, that you charge me today with a fault concerning this woman? So do Elohim to Abner, and more also exert, as Yahweh has sworn to David, even so I do to him, to translate the kingdom from the house of Saul, and to set up divine the throne to David over Yeshurun, over Yehudah, from Dan even to Beersheba. And he could not answer Abner a word again, because he feared him. I think basically Abner's just ranting about how much he's tried to save Saul's house or whatever. And Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Whose is the land? Saying also, Cut your covenant with me, and behold, your hand shall be with you, to bring about all Yeshurun unto you. And he said, way overboard. 13. And he said, Well, I will cut a covenant with you, but one thing I require of you, that is, you shall not see in my face, except you first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when you come to see the one with my face. So he's trying to get his first wife back. And David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my woman Michal, which I espoused to me, for 100 foreskins of the Philistine. And Ishbosheth sent and took her from her man, even from Pathiel, the son of Laish. And her man went with her, along weeping behind her, to Bakur Uriim. Then said Abner unto him, Go return. And he returned, and Abner had communicated. That's it. This is sad, but Abner had communication with the elders of Yeshurun, saying, Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now then do it, for Yahweh has spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David I will save my people, Yeshurun, out of the hand of the Philistine, and out of the hand of all their enemies. And Abner also spoke in the ears of Benjamin, and Abner was sent also to speak in the ears of David in Chevron. Divineth all that seemed good to Yeshurun, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David to Chevron, and 20 men with them, and David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go and will gather Divineth all Yeshurun unto my ruler the king, and they may cut a covenant with you, and that you may reign over all that your heart desires. And David sent Divineth Abner away, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Chevron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the hosts that were with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he has sent him away, and he is gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What have you done? Behold, Abner came unto you. Why is it that you have sent him away, and he is quite gone? And know Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive you, and to know your going out and your coming in, to know the mind of all that you do. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sirah. But David knew it not. And when Abner was returned to Chevron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him, and quietly smote him there under the 5th rib, and he died, and for the blood of it. Okay. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that has an issue, or that is a leper, or that leans on a staff, or that falls on the sword, or that lacks bread. So Joab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Ashiel, as given in the battle. And David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, Rend your clothes and gird yourself with sackcloth, and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the coffin, and they buried Abner in Chevron. And the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, Died Abner as a fool dies, and your hands were not bound, nor your feet put into fetters, as a man falls before wicked men. So fell you. And all the people wept again over him. And when all the people came to cause David to eat bread while it was yet day, David swore, saying, So do Elohim to me, and more also, if I taste bread or out else till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them. So whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Yeshurun understood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner the son of Ner. Sorry again, I'm just tired. And the king said unto his servants, Know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day of Yeshurun? That was wrong of me. 39. And I am this day weak, though anointed king, and these men, the sons of Seruiah, be too hard for me. Yahweh should reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. Okay, it really shows David's character when he grieves over Saul and stuff. This shows the character of God, and it's something that we should strive for, regardless. It's could be his talent, his 9:05. 5. Read one more, and then we're done for the day. 4:1. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Chevron, his hands were feeble, and all Yasharal were troubled. 2. And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands. The name of the one was Baanah, and the name of the other was Rechab, the sons of Simeon. Oh, nope, my bad. Rimeon, a Beerothi of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth also was reckoned to Benjamin. And the Beeroth fled to Gideon, Gideon, and were sojourners there until this day. So their lineage to even right now, they're sojourners. 4. And Yehudanan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame of his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul, and Yehudanan had a Yisrael. And his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. And the sons of Rimeon, the Beerothi, Rechab, and Baanah went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay divineth on a bed at noon. And they came hither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat, and they smote him under the 5th rib. And Rechab and Baanah okay. And Rechab and Baanah, his brother, escaped. So their brothers, 7. For when they came into the house, he lay, the Revka and Baanah are brothers. He lay on his bedchamber, and they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Chevron, and said to the king, Behold the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul. Oh my goodness gracious. Your enemy, which sought your life. And Yahweh has avenged my ruler, the king, this day, of Saul and his seed. I don't think they don't understand David's character. I think that, so they killed the lame son from Yehudanan, and then they killed the one that was ruling in Upper Israel. 9. These people are crazy. Crazy. They think they're going to get rewarded for doing evil from a servant of God. This is crazy. And David answered Rechab and Baanah, his brother, the sons of Rimeon, the Beerothi, and said unto them, As Yahweh lives, who has redeemed my soul out of all adversity, when one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good news, I took hold of him and slew him in Siklah. Who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings? How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore require the blood of your hand, and take you away from the earth? And David commanded his young men, and they slew them, and divided their hands and their feet, and hanged them upon the pool of Chevron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Chevron. 5. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that was pretty short. It's okay. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this opportunity to learn. There's things that I missed from from reading this in the past. Thank you for opening my eyes. I hope those that are listening have also learned something and been blessed by you. Glory unto you, Father, Papa, for all that you do. And thank you for always being here for us. Glory to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Jehovah. Alright, family, God bless you. I'm going to lay down. Bye.